Once a year, NIS America holds a bit of a contest within its company. Staff members can pitch ideas, and the best ideas get turned into games and released. Games like the Firefly Diaries and Yomawari were previous winners in this competition. And if you have the slightest bit of intuition, you can probably already tell where I'm going with this. The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince is the most recent winner of this competition, and it's pretty clear pretty early why this game won. Personally, I feel this is the strongest game released through this competition to date. NIS America was nice enough to provide me with a review code for this game on Nintendo Switch, and if it looks interesting enough to you, you can look forward to its release on February 12th on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 4. This game is very much like a fairy tale in almost every regard. A story of love and sacrifice as original as it is timeless. The game begins with a wolf singing atop a precipice. A prince at the bottom of the precipice is admiring the wolf's song, but due to the steep cliff in front of him, he cannot see who sings it. The prince is determined to see the singer and shower them in accolades, so he sets himself to climbing the wall. When he reaches the top, however, the wolf lashes out. He sees the wolf for the briefest second before she swipes and takes away his eyesight. The wolf realizes too late what she had done. She sets out now to do all in her power to help return the prince's eyesight. But this is going to come at a great personal cost. The wolf assumes the form of a princess, and takes to leading the blind prince through the woods, so that he may meet with a wish-granting witch. However, if the princess's true form is to ever be revealed, then her chance to save the prince's eyesight and right her wrongs will be forever gone, and the guilt she'd have to live with would be insurmountable. There isn't an insane amount of story set up beyond this, and the rest of the story is told in brief intermissions between chapters. The gameplay uses the same sort of slow and floaty physics engine we've seen in other releases, like the Firefly Diaries. However, this game is much more forgiving and much less cumbersome than that one was. The gameplay, however, isn't really as much about platforming as it is about puzzle solving. In essence, this game is a large escort mission. Obstacles block you from getting the prince from point A to point B. It wouldn't be too far off to think of the prince like a lemming in how he's controlled, but he's not exactly a disposable one. To get the prince anywhere, you'll need to hold his hand and guide him. This isn't just a press of a button, but an actual hold. Jumping while holding hands with him will make him jump in sync with you, but you'll need to be careful as fall damage is a real thing. As the game goes along, new environment obstacles will pop up to use in your puzzle platforming, like mushrooms that can be used to bounce higher or negate your fall damage. You'll come across switches, moving platforms, actual riddle-based puzzles, creatures that can toss you around, and plants that can launch projectiles. Aside from one puzzle in the game, I never exactly found anything to be too difficult to figure out here. The bite-sized nature of the puzzles helps the game move at a consistent and good pace. You'll also unlock different ways to command the prince as you progress, so that he can walk short distances without you, or lift and move objects as the princess is unable to do this on her own. There is combat in this game too. If a human approaches an enemy, they're almost guaranteed to die in an instant. However, the princess can transform into a wolf at will to combat the enemies. This combat isn't exactly designed to be fun. Really, it's just another puzzle-solving mechanic, another obstacle that stops the prince from getting from point A to point B. Now, I'll be completely honest, this is all a little fun, it's kind of charming and even a bit relaxing, but none of the games released as a result of this competition have exactly felt fulfilling to me in the gameplay department. Where this game really shines is, of course, its incredible artwork. Just as the story feels like a fairy tale, the game itself looks like the book you may have read such a fairy tale in as a kid. I absolutely adore the look of this game. Sure, there is a lack of animation, and some things may look a little funny, like jumping backwards as the wolf, but all in all, it's just a storybook come to life. The characters, the enemies, the zones all look incredible, and they're all sold even further with what I consider some of the best music I've heard in a game since maybe Nier Automata. The music is like a cross between the work James Horner done on the first Casper movie, the OST for American Beauty, and a bit of Joanna Newsom thrown in for good measure. So much of this is just so much of what I like. It's calm, it's relaxing, and it's beautiful. There isn't a lot of music, but what they have is absolutely fantastic. There's nothing of real note here in terms of sound design, and the voice acting is used very sparingly. It's basically all just the voice of a narrator reading you the fairy tale. It's only in Japanese, but it's done well. And the translation for the little bits of text in this game seem pretty solid too.
王子から無邪気な拍手を送られ、今まで歌を褒められたことのない狼は、最初は戸惑いましたが、そのうちに悪く。I never had any performance issues, but I did hit one small glitch where I got an enemy stuck in a wall. He wasn't important for anything and it didn't stop me from progressing, but it's just something that happened. If you struggle with any chapters, you can utilize the skip stage feature. So if you need your games to be journalist friendly, you're covered. There's also in-game art galleries, trophies, stage selects, and an album that can replay old cutscenes for you. It's hard to complain much about what this game does. Instead, my only real complaints come from what it doesn't do. There's a distinct lack of options in this game. The little bits that are here are mostly serviceable, but I know some people tend to find vignettes to be a bit smothering and irritating. And unfortunately, for those of you that feel this way, there's no option to turn the vignettes off. Also, the game's length. This is going to be the absolute biggest sticking point for most prospective buyers. This game took me only 4.5 hours to complete from start to finish, and that's with dealing with the harder routes when I found I had an option. Somebody who's not taking their time can probably pull this off in 3 hours or less. I do think its short runtime keeps the game feeling short and sweet, and I think that that's exactly what it should feel like. But now the real challenge begins for you. How much are you willing to pay for a 4.5 hour adventure with great art, great music, a charming and sweet fairy tale story, but gameplay that's really only okay? I will leave that decision in your hands, as that's all I'm going to say on The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. If you like the video, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you can. If you really like the content, consider supporting the show on Patreon, and as always folks, thanks for watching.